I mean, the whole thing started, man. Everybody's, talking about the whole shoot interview I just did a few days ago on Ricky Morton. Everybody's asking me if it's real. Yes, 100% it is real. So here's the whole history behind what has went down. Not long ago, well, of course, everybody knows I run Awesome Wrestling Entertainment. It's a brand-new wrestling company out of Virginia that we are trying to get up and off the ground, and everything is going really well. We had our first 2 shows back in February under the new banner. And with the company, we're wanting to introduce the new school look with the lights, the staging, the sound. But we want to give the old school feel because we feel today that wrestling fans want the old school style wrestling again and not so much of the more Hollywood theatrical and, movie style you're seeing now on Monday Night Raw or even TNA. So, we've kind of put the old school with the new school look, and we had our first 2 shows in September that were just jam-packed. It was really phenomenal, and we knew we had something. So not too long ago, I did a video interview with Chris Graham, who handles all of our website, our media, all of that stuff for us. And we got to talking about the company, the direction of the company, where I wanted to go, was I happy with the first 2 shows. And we got talking about nostalgia because everybody who knows me knows that I did a lot of the Legend shows, and I just really believe that they draw. They draw big. We proved it. And fans want to see the older guys. And Chris got to asking me, and it wasn't, directly, specifically at any certain legend. He got to ask me what I thought about different guys, and, the question came up about the Road Warriors. And I believe, personally, the Road Warriors are the greatest tag team of all time, no doubt. Their size, their look, their ability. Nobody, if wrestling was real, could beat them, could even follow them in a match, period. And he brought up the question about the Rock and Roll Express. Now, I have been friends with Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson for a long time. Ricky helped me in this business many, many years ago when I was actually wrestling under the character of Doug Gibson. I did some jobs for WCW, which was pretty cool. And then Eric Bischoff come in. We didn't have the size, the look, so they didn't use us anymore. So Cornette was running Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and I went to Knoxville to talk to Cornette about maybe getting on some shows. And Cornette wanted nothing to do with me. I didn't have a look he was looking for. I didn't have an image, nothing. So I decided that I wasn't going to give up that easy. I drove all the way to Knoxville. So Ricky Morton came in. Ricky was booking for him at the time. And I talked to Ricky. I said, hey, man, is there any way you can get me on? I just want a good chance. I've worked for WCW. Evidently they think I'm good enough to job for them. Hell, just let me job for you. And he went and talked to Cornette and give me he gave me a shot, all because of Ricky Morton asking him to. So Ricky really helped me with this business. And then over the past, 10 years, man, I have used Ricky Morton on, I couldn't even tell you how many shows that I've ran. And use him, use Robert, not consecutively all the time. I just use Ricky a lot. So anyway, back to this interview I was doing for AWE. It was brought up about the Rock and Roll Express. I made a honest-to-God comment about the Rock and Roll, comparing wrestling from back then to what it is today on how wrestlers are pushed today and they're not as overshadowed other guys as the way it was back in the 80s. And I made a comment that I thought the Rock and Roll Express was overrated back in the day. And it wasn't a personal jab at Ricky and Robert because I think they're the most talented guys out there going, and even back in the day, my point was that you had the Road Warriors, you had the Rock and Roll Express. The Rock and Roll Express was thrown title shot after title shot after title shot. And the comment was made that, and it was all in good fun, it was nothing that discredits them for anything they done because they did work hard for everything they got. And I said if the Mulkey brothers would have gotten the same amount of title shots as the Rock and Roll Express would have got, then the Mulkeys would have been on top of the wrestling division. And evidently, I hit a nerve with Ricky Morton. And like I said, it was nothing personal. I'm a promoter. I'm a wrestling promoter. This is what I do. This is what I say. These are my feelings personally. You know, and nobody else out there feels the same. Well, maybe some people do. But anyway, on May 17th, Ricky Morton called me that morning and said, hey, Marvin, I'm coming through. I can't even remember where he told me he was going, but he said, I'm going to be up in Fishersville. You know, you go be at the training center. I'd like to talk to you. Absolutely. I mean, I hadn't seen Ricky since 2008 when I used him on the last show that I had ran under Ward Family Promotions. So, you know, I thought it was all going to be good fun and good humor. And Ricky comes by the training center, and it was I can't remember what time it was, but that's irrelevant. Me and him are talking, and Ricky is pissed off. And generally, I mean, he was pretty hot. And he was using language that, you know, we won't get into and repeat, but what happened, you're going to know before anybody else does. Yes, I got slapped open-handed by Ricky Morton. Did I retaliate and jump on a 54-year-old man? No, I did not. The bruises you see on that video where I'm talking was not done by Ricky Morton. Let me just clear that up right now. The altercation was, we had words, he slapped me, he left. What happened to my face was medical issues. I had high blood pressure. I was angry when that whole altercation happened. I was outside. I was actually going to leave. I wasn't even going to stay for training that day because I was that angry. I get up to my car. I really got lightheaded and literally blacked out. Slammed my head on the wall. I mean, on the ground. Don't know if I hit the rubber thing that holds the door open, whether the pole that actually sticks out from, you know, like the safety, whatever it is. I don't know what I hit my head on, but you can see on the side of my cheekbone in the video, there's a knot, there's a swelling. You can tell where I slammed my head against something that wasn't somebody's fist up against my face. Ricky comes out a few days later or whenever it was and says, stop lying about what happened, Marvin. Tell the truth about what happened. You didn't have no medical problems. Trying to take credit or make people believe that Ricky Morton did this to my face. That pissed me off really bad. I don't know if he's trying to look good in front of his indie guys, in front of his friends, his family, but Ricky Morton is a liar. I'll say it on here. I'll say it to anybody. He is a bald-faced liar. Now he comes back. He was saying some stuff to me off of the, I guess, message board or whatever he was reading, but or Facebook, and was saying some pretty harsh things about me, man, and telling people that I'm trying to fit myself in the same category as the Rock and Roll Express, doing this, and saying some pretty nasty things. And the more I heard it, the madder I got. And then he puts this sarcastic video up, calling me a liar to everybody. And who are they going to believe? Are they going to believe Ricky Morton or me? Well, hell yeah, they're going to believe Ricky Morton. Who am I? I'm just a Virginia promoter who does, you know, wrestling shows in Virginia up and down the East Coast. You know, wrestling fans in here know me, Marvin Ward. But then you got Ricky Morton. So, yes, fans are going to generally believe Ricky Morton, which pissed me off because now you're attacking my reputation. So I said, if that's the way you want to do it, I'll do my own little video. And I shot on it, and I told the truth. And I'm sorry if any of your people are listening that does not like this, but Ricky Morton, and I'll tell the whole world, is a piece of shit, and he's a liar. And I have had enough of it, and I'm going to expose this piece of crap for everything he is. And that is the truth of what happened. That is went down. And now Ricky is trying to play wrestling off of it to get on my Legends show. And I'm sorry, you guys, but to me, when you got a guy like Ricky Morton, who was as big as he was in the business, that is trying to play wrestling to get on one of my shows after what he did to me, it's pathetic. And I'm not going to play this game with him.
I noticed that you said in your video, it's just Terry asking wise, you don't have to answer it, okay? I noticed that you said in your video that you will have Ricky Morton's answer. Do you have an answer for Ricky Morton, or you're not going to want to say nothing about that right now?
I do have an answer for Ricky, but I am going to wait till tomorrow because I've already. And if you would have caught me 3 days ago, I'd have let you have it on your radio show. But I've already told everybody on the Facebook, on the website. I will have an answer for Ricky Morton. I will have it tomorrow afternoon. It'll be on our website. It'll be on the Facebook page, and it's for guys who don't have our website. It's awesomewrestlingentertainment.com. I want you to go to it anyway because I think you're going to like what you're going to see. And then it's Facebook/Awesome Wrestling Entertainment. But I will have an answer for him tomorrow. But it's pathetic, man. It's real. This is really sad. And this is, if you watch that movie, The Wrestler, I mean, this is what gives legends, great legends, a bad name. And I don't care who likes me anymore, who gets mad at me anymore, but I am sick and tired of legend wrestlers getting, going out here and doing these promoters wrong, robbing these promoters. And I've just made a stand that I am Marvin Ward. You will know my name. And, I'm going to air it out there because there's no sense in for guys like him giving guys like, DDP, Dusty Rhodes, guys that are credible, guys that are reputable, a bad name. And on top of that, coming back on the promoters where if he don't show up, because, yes, Ricky Morton, I'm going to expose you for this too. You double book yourself. You'll take a booking in West Virginia. You'll take a booking in Virginia. And you will turn around and you will take the money you get the most on whatever booking it is. You will leave that promoter high and dry, and that pisses me off more than anything because it's the promoters that get the bad rep for it by saying, well, you false advertised Ricky Morton. That is bull crap. Ricky will take the double booking.
For the ones that don't know Ricky Morton was from the WWF back in the days, the Rock and Roll Express, Smoky Mountains, and AWA, and WCW, for the ones that don't know Ricky Morton. But you're hearing the truth right now, and nothing but the truth. Go ahead, Marvin.
Well, the biggest thing is, like I said, the biggest thing that ticks me off is he's trying to play wrestling with it. I don't know what's going on in Ricky's personal life now, okay? But people have questioned me because I did it on the interview, and I'll tell you now. Yes, Ricky Morton, the whole world needs to know you're $70,000 behind in back child support. You are a deadbeat father. All right, you come on here and say you love your kids in that video. Give me a break, bro. You loved your kids. You'd be paying your wife or paid your wife what you owed them to take care of the kids. But I guarantee you she did it, or she got remarried and had to do it, or worked her ass off on her own to take care of them kids because she still owed $70,000. All right, say what you want to. How do you take care of your children if you didn't pay your wife, $70,000 in the child support that you owed her? I'm sorry. The truth needs to come out. And, and people say, well, that's not this, that's not true. Really? Look up the police records. He's been arrested twice and put in jail. And is it my business to air it out? No, it ain't. But since he fired the first shot, I'm going to tell everybody about Ricky Morton. And, so don't give me this garbage. My kids love me. Well, yes, you know what? Your kids should love you because you're their father. No matter how pathetic you are, you are their father. So, yes, I hope and pray to God they do love you, Ricky Morton, and forgive you for all the crap that's went on in your life. But to come to this point in your life to where you're taking an independent promoter and you're attacking him, or you're trying to use him to get publicity, or to use him to do whatever you are trying to do in your life, Jack, you ain't going to do it with me because I'm going to call it the way it is. And you pissed off the wrong person, and I'll air out every piece of language. Anybody asks me something, I will tell the truth about Ricky Morton, and I don't care what worker in this business gets pissed off at me. You got my phone number. You know where I live. If you got something to say about it, come to me and say about it. But stop this shit talking behind my back. Be a man and come talk to me about it because I ain't taking it no more. These promoters in this country have worked their ass off to make professional wrestling good, and so many of these workers have shit on top of them and made them look bad. And if I got to be the one to take all the heat to stand up and finally expose these guys, then so be it. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And I've had enough of it. I'm not playing wrestling with Ricky Morton anymore. Get a life. Jesus Christ, man, get a life. Quit screwing people. Stand up and act reputable. The reason you don't get booked, Rick, is because you screw too many people. Stand up and be a man. Stand up and act like somebody. You give your word to somebody, because let me tell you something. In this business today, I've been down that road. I will go ahead and air it out before anybody says it is. Many years ago when I started in this business, I tried to wrestle and I tried to be a promoter, and it don't work. I had the ego. I went down that road to where I did book shows and cancel them at the last minute because I didn't have the money to run them. Or I booked guys and I'd get pissed off at them and I'd cancel them at the last minute. Yes, I did. I'm not perfect. Okay? And about 3 years of doing that, man, and you get a bad name in this business and it's over with. And when I got hurt wrestling, I stopped. I left the business for a year. I missed it so bad that I came back and started promoting on my own. Promoting only, not wrestling. I haven't wrestled since 1997, and it took me 10 years to gain my reputation back to the point to where I will do a show, and if guys want their money up front, so be it. I'll send them the money up front. But I have worked hard to get my reputation back. I am one of the best promoters in this country. I don't care what anybody says. I'll go toe-to-toe with you on a show, and I'll outdraw you every day of the week. But it come to the point now that I'm going to stand up for these promoters. Do we have sleazebag and dirtbags in this industry? Yes, we do. Are there promoters over there that are shitting on guys and doing the wrong thing? Oh, my God, yes. Yes, there is. But there are reputable promoters out there that really kick tail. One that comes to mind, and I'm going to give it to him, is Michael O'Brien up in New York. Mike O'Brien is one of the best freaking promoters in this business, bar none. And he's an awesome one. I know there's some guys down in Georgia that really work their butt off. You got Kirk White out in California. I don't know Kirk. Me and Kirk had words a few years ago. But I will take nothing away from the guy. Kirk White is one hell of a promoter. But you also got reputable wrestlers out there in this world that are great guys that are not getting the bookings they should be getting because of guys like Ricky Morton. People can't trust them. And the promoters have gotten to the point, they say the hell with it. If the wrestlers are going to screw me, I'm going to screw them. And that's the reason this whole business has got turned upside down. And it's because of guys like Ricky Morton. And I'm sick of it. And that is the truth. It's on the table. There it is. Take it for what you want.
Now, let me ask you a question. And, boys, feel free to jump in there and ask Mr. Ward any questions you want to, okay?
Okay.
Let me ask you a question, Marvin. I noticed
Sure.
on an interview, you all have a radio station, and I noticed on the interview that you were talking to you about your issue that you're blackout and stuff and everything,
Sure.
but you wouldn't talk about it. Is this based on from what happened with Ricky Morton, or is there more to it?
You know what? Yeah. I cannot say that is the reason that it happened, but yes. I would say yes it is because I did get angry. I do have blood pressure problems. I was furious after that happened, man. And they told me that my blood pressure shot sky high. And, it's just, that's all I remember. I walked outside. I was already hot. I was sweating. I got to the car. I went to reach the door handle of the car. And all I felt was dizzy. And that's the last thing I remember until I literally woke up. And my 16-year-old daughter had come with one of my trainees, was there, I guess, 10, 15 minutes after it happened, scared the living hell out of her. Excuse me. They called 911. I remember waking up on the stretcher. They had me on a backboard. And you want to talk about something that will scare the living life out of you? Come to and be on a stretcher on a backboard with your head strapped down, a neck collar on your neck, spider laced into this stretcher where you literally can't move, an oxygen mask on you going, your daughter's standing over you holding your hand crying, going, it's going to be okay, Dad. Not knowing what happened, yeah, that scared the living daylights out of me. No, I did not say anything. Somebody said, if Ricky Morton done it, why didn't you go to the the law, blah, 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 blah. Number one, Ricky Morton did not do that to my face. Ricky Morton slapped me. Am I going to go get a warrant on somebody who open hand slapped me? No. If Ricky feels like he got some kind of good feeling out of slapping Marvin Ward upside the face, then good for you, Ricky Morton, because you know what? You slap my wife slaps harder than you, dude. Give me a break. And I'm sorry, but it's the truth, guys. My wife has literally slapped the piss out of me harder than what he did. Sorry, but that's the truth. But if he feel like he got some kind of raise or some kind of rise of it, then good for him. Good, Ricky Morton. Go tell your independent boys that, ooh, I beat up Marvin Ward. Look at his face, because you're a liar, Ricky Morton. You're a bald-faced liar. Sorry, but that's the truth.